part part two, second round, where we invite our poets to read two poems. So we'll start this second round, returning again to Jersey, or however it's said, by a Paris poet, Bill Strangmeyer.
Okay, start again with a quote. All suffering is bearable if it is seen as part of a story. Isaac Dinesen. This is called Isaac Dinesen. She had a farm in Africa she loved that sent her back to dreams and stories. Tales, she called those dreams. The beauty in a tale, the gift she gave the world, but only meant for those who see the tragic beauty in this life, who seek the glory in a foolish whim, who feel that life is gift enough and count the secrets in a glance. What matters death and youth if you contain a puzzle made for God? The glamour and luxurious mind can bless the meanest circumstance that earth can conjure up, and magic is a part of every day. If other churches than her tales were kind within the cruelty of life like her, if they could understand the human curse, the passion for a settled world, would they still practice cruelty's false kindness as they do? They do not love themselves and have no creed to live, and thus are cruel, not worthy to exist within a tale. The beings in a tale of hers glitter with facets and meanings and grace on a roadmap or a wish for some design or some refinement of the soul, and serve to render faith a less ungainly trait.
Okay,
Ungainly trait.
okay. An ungainly trait, don't you know? Okay. How about another one, Bill?
Okay, this is a short one. It's called Photograph. The two of you in lipstick, laughing at the joke, happy little girls so long ago, just yesterday, mocking the ridiculous to hold on to your place in the real and easy, not dress-up world.
Okay. Try that again. Short poem. Got to repeat.
Okay. Photograph. The two of you in lipstick, laughing at the joke, happy little girls so long ago, just yesterday, mocking the ridiculous to hold on to your place in the real and easy, not dress-up world.
Okay. Yeah. You nailed it, Bill.
Excellent.
All right. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for now. And so let's move next to Jack Cooper.
Okay. Yeah, I thought my turn to do a cover. In this case, this is a poem by Samuel Menash, which is called Curriculum Vitae. Scribe out of work, at a loss for words, not his to begin with. The man life passed by, standing at the window, biding his time. Time and again, and now once more, I climb these stairs, unlock this door. No name where I live, alone in my lair, with one bone to pick and no time to spare.
Okay. All right. Good. And time to spare a second poem?
Yeah, a short one from me, which is called The Unimaginable. Grief is gravity and peculiar to personal space, effect only where it occurs, like love and the pull of you I feel.
Okay. Okay. What a romance. We've got some romancing going on here tonight. That's a vision, romance, disturbing consensus, and homage to you know who we do that homage to again? Ezra Pound.
Ezra Pound, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do some more now from Dharma David Wilson. That would be you. Oh. All right. Words from the wise here tonight, folks.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll take a slice.
So far, we've laughed in the face of death and disruption, dystopia. That's I guess that makes us certified poets. Okay, so you've recalled me to recall two poems about. Oh, oh, well, correct me. I'm so sorry, David. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I've heard of you.
Oh, them. Okay.
Mm, all right.
Them crazy baldies.
Th- This poem has been brought to you by Unplug the TV. Yeah, really. Okay. Well, you remind me to read that. Oh, good, sure, of course. Um, so I'm going to read two poems that are old poems that I've read in the past too, and I think they're self-effacing. And first of all, I'd like to say some people give rhyming a bad time, right? They give rhyme a bad time. And I don't, and some people are really, really fixed on that. Rhyme is taboo. Rhyme corrupts the art of poetry.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I've seen magazines where they'll say no rhyming poems.
yeah, and and remarks like, I heard someone rhyme the other week. Oh my MFA God.
Yeah. I was I was once a little restaurant bar up near St. John the Divine.
Up where I stay. Okay.
Yeah, and I overheard a bunch of academics from Columbia, and one guy went on this tirade against Robert Frost, like, who reads Robert Frost?
Yeah.
And it was just amazing.
Yeah. And
That,
who?
that's revealing his age. Frost is not for young rebels. Frost is a great
But
poet.
this guy
You have to
was
have a
this,
certain maturity. Yeah.
yeah, but this guy was a man in his 50s.
Oh, well, you can be
Yeah.
stupid all your life, you know.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I knew the guy because his son had been on the same baseball or little league baseball team as mine.
Mhm.
And I fortunately he pretended he didn't know me, and I didn't want to know
Mhm.
him. So
Mhm. Yeah. And me, well, first of all, I think of Edgar Allan Poe. If any of these anti-rhyme people wish to diss Edgar Allan Poe, yeah, give it your best shot, buddy.
Oh,
Give it your best
yeah,
shot. Or Samuel Coleridge, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I judge it on its content rather than taboo that it rhymes. And I like to play a lot with it. I used to do more than I do now with internal line rhyme.
Yeah.
So, and because I thought that was very rhythmic, musically rhythmic to do in the poem. Because when you rhyme, it's like hitting it on the one, and then what are you going to follow it with? You know, do a pause, an internal line rhyme, and I remember being criticized for that. Well, same way. Well, it didn't come at the end of the line, but there was a lot of rhyming in there, in the middle. Oh, I guess there was. And so
Mm.
I remember hearing from that.
But
Okay.
mm,
Oh, no, no, I'm not particularly singled out. It's just that I remember those things happening and
well, it
remember
does hold
saying,
the piece together. I mean, it's
yeah.
the,
And I remember
the
wishing to
sinew.
explain what they could not get, which was they were trying to imitate the Frank O'Hara modernist wave out of New York. They were very insecure university people who wished to reflect that style, and that's fine. O'Hara was part of the canon, 20th century. But because of that, then anything that rhymed or even showed any kind of a syncopation to them was not part of the New York modern school, as it was known in the 50s. So I remember that too. And so I couldn't explain it to them because I'd say things like, well, you see, the syncopation adds to the nuance and the implicit meaning of the poem. What? They would say. And I would say, if I do internal line rhyme, imagine I'm doing the rhyme unexpectedly and quickly. It's a quick syllable usually. The word is one syllable, which is like taking one drum beat and hitting it for a pause before you beef up the band. In this case, before you beef up the language. And they would go, what?
Yeah, it doesn't fit into dogma, but dogma can, this kind of dogma leads to some very amateurish poetry.
Yeah, so what they were doing had great legacy to it. I agree. It's just they would like to exclude, in this case, rhyme and rhythmic syncopation. They would like to diss on that. I don't. So they had a place for who they followed and what they were doing, but denied a place to other people doing something different. Which is why hip hop caught on against all the rejection from the established community, including in music. Including in music. Um, uh, you know, that doesn't have a 4/4 or a 3/4 to it. And why are you blowing into the microphone? And later on, it was like, why are my children and their children knowing more about hip hop than they do about uh, uh, great lineage poetry? So there's two sides to that coin. Anyway, having that, here's two sides of a coin that I like to read. It's self-effacing. I like being self-effacing. And this is called Cameo or Dried Cum Between My Legs. Uh, I'm reading before a crowd in earnest. They're interested. The how do you do's and pretensions go around the house. You walk in late as usual, and as you search for a seat, I stumble all over myself. Quick, somebody get the hook. Last night I wrote to you, rehearsed like Cyrano, down 6 cups of coffee, 2 packs of cigarettes, and still couldn't get it. My words, like bubbles, well rounded, so gentle, glided on a whisper, grazed your cheeks, burst on your lips. It was alchemy and gone. I almost had it. I'd sleep alone, wake before dawn, dried cum between my legs, wrestling with the words and you in the air. I almost had it, the perfect love poem, until it comes. You are on the tip of my tongue. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So here's another. self-effacing, and it's called No Laughing Matter. Should have been a clown, after all, so clumsy and awkward, make such a mess of the easy tasks. No wonder children find me funny. The boss says I'm a colorful character, confusing, amusing, says I could make coffee nervous. People down on the luck have to chuckle seeing my antics, gives them cause to start over. I got what it takes, a damn grand bozo, but when I'm alone, and that's often, I wonder, as your lover, do you feel the same? Being a clown is no laughing matter. After the laughter, sleeping alone. Now, honey, that'll make coffee nervous. Okay. So there you go. Yeah. That was written for Liana, both poems, who I haven't seen in a while. Should have married the girl, then I could have ruined the marriage.
You're
I
good at
told her that
that
once.
too, huh, Mo?
Liana, we should have got married. So you could have experienced your first divorce. What's that? Wow. And and girl talk on Instagram and TikTok and stuff is still largely uh, here's my engagement ring, and all the ladies jump in and go, oh, that's so great. That's so great. And then when they're walking out of the party, they're like, well, I fucked him last week. I hope she did. Or he slept with my cousin Ralphie. But there's still a lot of lore. Marriage is still special. And the ritual is very, very special despite the anti-establishment attitude in the 60s and afterwards. There's still something about, you know, because I see it on social media, uh, you know, we're getting married and everything. It's just so wonderful. The uh, hyperbole that follows that announcement. That's true, and all power to them. Yeah. Well, if you can, in this day where there's so many in the now moments because of access to advance and technology, I would think if you can stay married longer than 10 years, let alone 20 years, without killing each other, you know, you are really beating the odds. You really are. You know.
You know that Jimi Hendrix song? I think it's called 51st Anniversary.
No.
It's about a marriage and it starts 51st anniversary and it goes back down and it gets to 10 years and they hate each other.
Okay. Um, Now, I knew one couple in Pittsburgh that got divorced but could not afford to leave the home they were sharing. So they both agreed that he would build a brick wall, dividing the living room, and she had it in and therefore they could go to the second floor to bedrooms, and walls would divide them there with no common entrance now because of the brick wall. And I was in that house. It was true. That'd be great. Should we hook up for old time's sake? We've both been a little lonely. Okay, I'll come next door. Gotta go now. Bye. Wouldn't that be convenient? That'd be great.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, yeah. Now, I had a Greek girlfriend who was born in Greece and moved to the States, and she took me to her home, and it was a many-roomed house. Her parents were actually partisans fighting the Nazis in Greece. So they were self-declared communists and did capitalistically very well when they came to the States. There you go. And so anyway, Despina invited me to her house. We were seeing each other, and I said, "Oh wow, what a big house!" She said, "Oh, come on, I'll show you." So we got upstairs, and there was two adult bedrooms. So I said, "Oh, that's interesting. It looks like two parental bedrooms." She said, "You got it. My father sleeps in this bedroom, and my mother sleeps in the other bedroom." And I said, "They don't get along." She said, "That's why they get along." And being still in my American naivete, love forever, and the flame never goes out. She said, "Mo, you have to learn something about Europe." And I said, "What's that?" She said, "We get married for good arrangements, for love and lust as well, but then we realize for the long haul, it's about establishing a stable living space like a house, raising a family, sharing money." And she said, "That's what the Europeans understand, that the Americans don't. So that when the flame goes out, you're content with the fact that you've built stability, a place to live, children." She said, "So we don't find that a failure going to second bedrooms. It's Americans who think in the Disney-esque way that once the prince wakes you up, you should be love ever after." So I listened to her say that, and my head was just going, wow. And that's why she explained it. And said, you know, and then I thought later how, nobility married for money, and keep the bloodlines up. And yet she was talking about just sort of the average people. She was from Greece. She said, "Yeah, we don't expect to stay love struck for the rest of our lives. That's an American misconception." And so that's how I got woke to that kind of thing.
You're gonna make me cry, Mo.
Why, Bill? That seems like fodder for one of your poems. She
I,
used to
I,
blow.
I've tried twice. I'm sure it'll work a third time or maybe the fourth time.
She used to blow in my ear. Now she snores through the night.
Yeah, I think it was Auden who said that the most boring long marriage was more interesting than the most electric affair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what I found out myself moving to France, having a woman pick me up as her lover. She courted me. Didn't take very long, and as her lover. And as it turned out, I would meet her husband and have dinner with him. And the idea was that she said, "I've been married to Jack, as his name is, uh, for some time now. He's 20 years older than me. We both are secure." Yeah, she was secure, all right. They were wealthy. So we're both very secure. And I went to her place, which was a Paris apartment with 8 rooms. And the point was, she explained to me, again, this was my first year in Paris, that she said, "Yes, but I live with Jack because I love him. I will always love him. He's a great man. I have much respect for him. But he's 20 years older than me now. And, he's kind of slowed down. And I want to stay 20 years younger, young and active in my life. So
God,
Jack understands that. And I will always be loyal and true to Jack." And as I would soon after get invited to her place, I would actually sit down and have dinner with Jack. And nothing was sneaky and nothing was vulgar on my part and nothing was disrespectful. None at all. I found him to be a very, very likable guy. Very likable. Wealthy guy who does all this charitable work for the Sahel, water wells and emergency food stuff to that northern Sahara, Western Sahara region that's so
hmm.
impoverished. So anyway, that's what he does with wealth. She being from nobility, she inherited wealth. Anyway, the point is that that's what she explained. She said, I said, "Over in the States, this would be a scandal." She said, "I know in the States, everything." It's another one telling me about Europe and saying, "I know in the States, if everything is not like Disney, somehow one or both have failed." She said, "I will always love Jack. Don't ever confuse that. You know, I have respect for him. You can't imagine." And then, of course, it was implied one would never show disrespect to him, not behind his back, nor sincerely do that. He's a venerable guy. And I happen to have a lover, and that's what we do in Europe. So not everybody agrees to that. But when it's found out that you have a lover, as they always find out, they always suss out who the president's lover is, right, Bill? They always find out who the president has as a lover. And he never gets the, shall we say, the Bill Clinton treatment, or Gary Hart back in the day. It's like, yeah, he has a lover. Yes, he has a wife. Yes, he's a man. Now, what is his economy and foreign policy? And let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the Clinton thing came out, when he gets his dick sucked in the White House and all that, they knew about it because anything American presidential,
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah,
No,
hey,
the stains on her dress.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, and she's written a book now. But the Europeans back then were saying that this was like around what, 93, 94.
Oh,
When they
later than that, I think. Yeah,
really,
he
well,
was impeached over it.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
They
he won
found
the
that hilarious, the French. They found it so funny.
Oh,
exactly. They were saying so he's having a lover, and that's what they would say. I want to know his foreign policy, his economy. And he has a lover. So what? You Americans over the top in so many words. You're over the top. You're Disney-esque,
yeah.
and at the same time we were finding out who Jacques Lang, Minister of Culture, his lover, and
And
where my lover.
Francois Mitterrand, he had a whole other
Yeah,
family, I believe.
second family.
Second family.
Yeah,
His daughter was on television for a while, a
yeah.
literary show.
He kept his daughter in an apartment right next to Shakespeare and Company.
Yeah.
And I was, the writer in residence there for a while. So when he would show up to visit his daughter, I mean, the big security, quiet presence was there. You were not taking one step into that small side street, not one step. And they were very discreet and very, you knew.
Oh,
And
that was his apartment. I used to go down that street on my way home sometimes.
well, I was told he was visiting his daughter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was told he was visiting his daughter.
I talked to a cop, and the cop she was giving nothing up,
Yeah,
Right.
right.
And
except that it was the president.
you don't push.
Circulez, monsieur, circulez.
No. She was enjoying the fact that I was American and didn't know everything that she did.
Uh,
She
Well,
really liked that.
that's not a difficult place to be. I was American and didn't know. And like my lover, she lives in this walled compound, in the Fifth, and it's walled with really high metal grills that go like 12, 14. The doors to the compound are about 14 foot high, and there's the old Guardian, place. It's right there where the gates are, with the pointed little roof, and so you had to enter those gates, and then you had a walk around Passage Green, and everybody lived in, apartments, large apartments. And there it was, right there on the top of the Fifth, up the hill from Rue Saint Jacques. And anyway, so we would be out there looking out our window, and because she was a rebel, Therese was a rebel. She took to reefer and hippies and used to host Van Morrison and other well-known folk singers and rockers in her apartment in Paris with Jack's permission, of course. And he liked it. Anyway, so she did that. So she was a rebel. Okay, you wouldn't know she was from nobility, sneakers, jeans, sweatshirt, and gorgeous. And we would look out our windows and she would say, there, here comes the Minister of Economy. He keeps his lover across the courtyard on the third floor. And like after 5 o'clock, she'd say, now let's wait. We're waiting now. Minister of Transport. Yes, his lover is on the second floor down the road, inside the same compound. And she used to laugh. She used to laugh at them, you know. And so that gave me an initiation on how they do it. They wouldn't live there, but they kept their mistresses there. And it was a steep rent. I never asked to race. how much it costs to buy one of those places. That would be indiscreet. But it was steep. It had to be steep where it was, And there you go. And she would giggle. She would laugh at it because she rebelled against all that. So she kept a sense of humor about it. And she was happy with her man. She's still with Jack. She came to Angora Poets once, which is in her neighborhood down in San Michel. And she was very, very discreet, Oh, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. I said, you speak English better than most Anglophones. Jesus Christ. You're correcting me on past tense, future tense. And she said, but I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen because my hair's not done. And she never came out bourgeois, but she still had that kind of vanity. So she sat in the back very quietly and left very quietly. And she understood every word because growing up with Van Morrison and Donovan and Paul Simon stayed there. She knew the blah 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 stuff,
Wow.
the euphemisms and so forth. So there you go. That's how she was. Yeah, that was great. She's a cool one.
These were lovers or visitors?
Who?
Paul Simon
Sure.
and Van Morrison.
Well, I never asked her if she shagged any of them. I never went that far, but I simply did learn that in Paris she would host them because she was of the '60s generation. She was a boomer, and she was really into it and knew English so well. She didn't need any translation of the phrases, like "get back, Jack," or anything we might use as American euphemism. She knew it all, and from her, and then, so it became known that when you go to Paris, if you want to hang out with some cool people that like what you're doing, and will, you can all sit around and smoke reefer together, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, because she used to like to light up and drink quite a bit, actually. She drank quite a bit. I was drinking back then. Anyway, and Jack, the place was so big. First of all, they had more than one bedroom. Okay. And secondly, his office, as she called it, was about the size of my apartment. So, things like this could be done without disturbing Jack if he wanted to be working or sleeping. And so,
I work tomorrow, so I have to say goodnight. Huh?
okay. All
Night,
right,
Bill.
Bill.
Night, Joel. Night.